What's going on, traders? John with Tactical Trading here with our OTC Saturday video. This week we're going to kind of stick with the theme that has been working in the OTC markets, and that is sub-penny stocks that have been running really hard. We've had some absolute monsters, and I think this all goes and stems back to Sorrel Group, Humble, when they ran from a tenth of a penny and now yesterday hit as high as 11 cents. That stock has been an absolute monster. Someone asked me if this was I'm not like making funny or nothing at all. I know there's a lot of inexperienced traders that ask questions, but asked if this was going to continue a breakout. I said that this was not a breakout. These guys kicked the jail doors down and the gates down and released all the inmates. This stock has actually caused an absolute tidal wave of little sub-penny stocks running in anticipation. Now, this typically happens with the market. The market is a copycat type business. When something happens, usually very similar situations tend to repeat themselves, basically predicated off of something that has happened prior. And TSNP has basically kicked the doors down, and a lot of these stocks are absolutely running wild right now. So we got to thanks to Sorrel or Humble for doing that, because it's making a lot of us a lot of money right now. The first stock we're going to talk about is SUTI. This is very hard to pronounce. It's Sycamore Inc. International. This stock closed at 0.0022, up 633% on Friday. They traded as high as 0.0032 and then pulled back at the end of the day. Their day yesterday was eerily similar to TSNP's day on Wednesday, when it had a very strong run, pulled back strong on the close. I think it traded as high as the mid-fives, right under the mid-fives, pull back to the low fours, and then the following day, which was the day after Thanksgiving yesterday, absolutely exploded for 160 some odd percent. The chart looks eerily similar to that. This is a multi-project business development enterprise that engages in creating new technology companies from patent university innovations. The company primarily engages in the development and operating of companies in the pre-funding stage, projects in the developmental process. I'm having a rough time this morning, developmental process, and have now engaged in the cannabis industry as well. As I expect that next week, and what I'm hearing from tweets from the CEO and rumblings around, that they will become current next week with their filings. So I expect this to continue. I expect this to have an absolute monster run next week, and as of right now, this is my top play going into the next week, and especially into Monday. And this is SUTI. I really anticipate this thing being a monster. If we just look back at the second company that I'm going to talk to, I'm going to kind of segue into this. But the second company I'm talking about is Segi, Sycamore Entertainment Group. This stock closed at 0.0076. It was down 3% on Friday, but it traded as high as 0.0095. This is a motion picture distribution and marketing company that specializes in the acquisition, distribution, and development of marketing campaigns for feature films in the U.S. and internationally, including film acquisitions, publicly printing, advertisement, billboard advertisement, film distribution, and online marketing. They are now available on Roku, which is what's really got everybody excited about this company. CEO Mr. Edward Sylvan, Mr. Edward Sylvan. He's a vet of the banking industry, and he's tweeted that there's much more to come. We are very excited in the trading community about this stock. I'm very excited about this stock, and in fact, the first two plays are the ones I'm really, really excited about. I think these two have the best opportunity to really start running. This SEGI came real close to pushing a penny yesterday, and once it breaks that penny mark, who knows where it goes, but I really do think this thing's going to break a penny going into early next week. Now, if we look at the first two stocks, SUTI and SEGI, they have very similar runs as well. If you look at where SUTI is at 0.0022, closed very, very close to where SEGI closed a couple days back. And then the following day, this thing ran all the way up into the sevens and I think the low eights. So if we can get that from SUTI, we're still talking about another 300-400% run. where we sit right now. In full disclosure, I am holding a position in SUTI, a small position in SEGI. The last two I'm talking about, I don't have a position in, but the first two I definitely have a position in because I have the utmost faith that these things are going to run hard in the beginning of next week and possibly throughout the week. The third stock we're talking about is Prpm. This is Protech Capital. They closed at 0.0004. This company focuses on investing or acquiring software companies that are privately held or traded in the public markets. With SUTI, with SUTI, they are both under the PBHG, PBS Holdings banner in the same umbrella, and that stock, PBHG, closed at 0.0009. They were up 50% on Friday. So, I look for all these companies to be getting current. This is what they're talking about. This is their ambition and goal over the next. I know SUTI is looking to become current next week. Prpm possibly in the following weeks, a couple weeks after that. So three stocks that are under the same umbrella: SUTI, Prpm, and PBHG. Like all three of those to really start running and continuing the runs going into next week. The final stock we're going to be talking about is Pudget Technologies, PUGE. This stock closed at 0.0011. They were up huge, 266% on Friday. They closed near the highs. This is a developmental stage company who develops and sells 3D printers. The company offers its printers under the name My3DP. It also distributes B29 energy drinks and various medical marijuana products. The theme kind of is getting a lot of these marijuana or medical marijuana, or because of the fact that marijuana possibly will be federally legalized and is being legalized in many states. It's starting to give these companies a push. Just like a couple weeks back, you looked at a lot of these cannabis companies. They were running really hard. I think this trend will continue, and the marijuana companies will be getting a nice push going into next week. So the four stocks that are on OTC Saturday, we kind of threw one in there. So I will say five. PUGE, Prpm, PBHG, which is the PBS Holdings, that's the holdings company of the three, SEGI, and SUTI. The two that I am most excited about and that I think will have the hardest runs will be SEGI, which I do anticipate breaking a penny going into next week and maybe even a little further, and SUTI. I think this thing has a very similar run to Segi. I think that we may see a 2, 3, 400% run on Monday. This thing had huge volume. It's heavily shorted. Once these shorts get pinned against the wall, there's going to be a squeeze, and this stock could run really hard. Now, the OTC market has been on fire. OTC stocks have been making people a lot of money. Actually, I'm going to talk about two of my favorite, and these are above a penny, obviously. One is TSNP, who started his journey well under a penny, a tenth of a penny when I first noticed it, and 4/10 of a penny when I first purchased. It was a little under 4/10 of a penny when I alerted it. I think it was 0.003233 when I alerted it to you guys. This thing ran all the way up into the 11s yesterday, which is just an astronomical run. I mean, if you're thinking if someone held on to and grabbed a couple $1,000s worth back when I alerted it, you could have turned that into almost $100,000. I mean, just think of that. That's just astronomical. And TSNP closed the day yesterday at 0.108, so almost 11 cents. This thing was up 166% yesterday. They have their conference call on December 9th, so I do expect a little bit of consolidation. Now, I could be wrong. This thing has been so hot. Calling the technicals and looking at the charts, I did call out that breakout from 2 cents because it was forming an absolutely perfect symmetrical triangle on the 5-day, 15-minute chart. Looked like the pressure was just building on that chart, and what happened once that triangle came to its peak, that thing popped, and I had two just explosive days. Now I think this thing may consolidate. It may pull back just a little bit, probably into the high 9s, maybe low 10s. I think this thing will consolidate for a few days heading into that December 9th conference call, and then I would not want to be without shares going into that conference call. I have a feeling this thing can really just, I mean, who knows? This thing can move 100% from where it's at going into that conference call. And if you're thinking of that, I mean, we're talking a 18 to 22 cent stock going into that conference call. And I do anticipate really good news going into that conference call. This is one I will be holding into and through the conference call. Typically, I buy the rumor, sell the news. This certain situation, they have been on point with their PRs. They've been on point with what they said they were going to do. I can't go against them right now. So I think TSNP is definitely one of the best buys, probably the story of the year in OTC market. Second stock that we're going to be talking about higher than these sub pennies is ENZC, Enzolytics. This company closed at 0.0502, up 52% on Friday. I anticipate this thing to have a monster week next week. They're working with Texas A&M, and I believe they're going in there on December 1st, so that's going to be on Tuesday. I believe a heavy anticipatory run on Monday going into that, and then I expect news coming out after that. So I could see ENZC. I said this on my Twitter page. I said that TSNP and ENZC will be 10-cent stock soon. I didn't think TSNP was going to reach it this quick, but they did. Now I'm saying this thing may be a 20-25 cent stock after that conference. And ENZC, this will be a 10-cent stock in my opinion coming up over the next week or two. So I really like ENZC. I'm just going to rail off 3 more tickers that I'm going to be watching next week. That's BRTX, ALPP, and HYSR. All 3 of these, I think, will have runs going into the next couple of weeks. So these might be stocks you want to keep on your watch list. Look for them. I mean, ALPP has been an absolute monster. This thing closed in the 40s yesterday. This thing's up from 5 cents just a couple of weeks ago. So if you look at the way these OTC stocks have been moving, I really don't think ALPP is done. It may have a little bit of a pullback, but I think this thing can really grind up into the 50s and 60s. HYSR, they have a lot of patents under their umbrella. They in the fold, and they're worth a lot more than they are right now. I think this stock had a nice run. It closed in the 6s. I think this thing had a really nice run over the last 3 or 4 days. I've had them on my watch list. I do anticipate these guys to continue. And BRTX has been beaten down. The stock is way undervalued. Biorestorative Therapeutics. This company is way beaten down. Trading now, I believe, in the penny and a half range. This thing traded as high as 4.5 cents, just in the anticipation of them dropping that Q, getting out of bankruptcy. They did that. They did not budge. They had a run the day prior, and then they just collapsed. I saw the CEO bought close to 19 million shares on a Form 4, and then the past few days at the close, I've been seeing a lot of heavy accumulation of people slapping huge asks right at the end of the day, accumulating millions of shares. Something's going on with these guys. I do anticipate this stock moving. I think at a penny and a half is an absolute steal, so I would definitely either purchase some, and that's me talking. I am not a financial advisor. I am just giving you what I would be doing. I would be taking a position in BRTX, anticipating that this stock may just pop. I think this thing we could see this thing in the 4s or 5s within the next couple of weeks, probably by the end of the year. So that's all I got for you today. The main 4, SUTI, SEGI, those are my 2 favorites. Prpm along with PBHG, that's kind of, they go hand in hand with each other, and PUGE. And as we all know, TSNP, ENZC, those are 2 stocks that I absolutely love. In fact, I'm holding both of those as well. And just the 3 that I want to keep on your watch list are BRTX, ALPP, and HYSR. Again, that's all I got for you today. As always, please like, please share, please subscribe. Any comments or questions, put them in the comment section below. And as always, we will see you tomorrow with the watch list, and let's get that money.